Hey everybody, welcome to Dad's Den of Pop Culture. We're looking at a vintage toy that was from 1962, although it sounds like it may have actually showed up maybe a year or two before that. We do have U.S. patent pending 1962. I'm pointing to a part of the box you cannot see. Here we go. Patent pending, copyright 1962, Mattel Incorporated, but it might have actually shown up in 60 or 61. From what I've heard. This is the Vac-U-Form, and it is from a category of toys that were designed to allow kids to actually make things. You had chemistry sets. You had a few things like this, the wood burning, leather burning sort of things. So they were constructive toys. And this one allows you to make vacuum-formed plastic toys and other items. You could see a few of those things here. Airplane, car, little frames. They had buttons as well. Maybe that's a button sitting right there. So I got this a couple years ago. What we're going to do is we're going to open up this box, look at what's inside, and then we're going to actually try to vacuum-form something. I have plugged in this device to make sure the heating element works. But there's two things that have to work on this so that you can actually vacuum-form. One is the heating element. The other is the little pump that creates the vacuum. And that, I don't know if that will work. Because the only way to really test it is to actually try to make a toy. And I have a limited supply of the plastic sheets. So I didn't want to do that unless, I was really doing it for, say, the camera. So let's pull this box top off. And here we have the contents of the box. It's in this styrofoam case. And I'm pretty sure there would have been a bottom to this at some point, a cardboard bottom. This is how I got it. It's in pretty good shape overall. So this is the actual Vac-U-Form device with its cord. I'm going to take this out and we'll look at it a little closer in just a moment. We'll set it down over here. So you get a whole bunch of stuff in here. Now, some of these things, you see these little plastic pieces here. These, this is like a nose with a mustache coming out of it. It's sort of like for a Mr. Potato Head style thing that you could do. Basically, you could build a funny face and you could then vacuum-form it. These are some of the plastic sheets that you can use to make things. Let's set that aside for a moment. High voltage Okolite tape. Now you go, what is that? I think this is just a tin somebody used to hold things. I can. Now I'm having trouble getting this thing open. I think it's basically some of the bits and bobs that you can use. I'm trying to find where I have a feeling if I play with this too much, I'm going to manage to open it in the worst way and have an explosion all over this desk. We'll leave that aside for the moment. Here are some of the molds that you can use to make things. Some of them are not obvious what you would use them for immediately. I know that kind of looks like a hat, but that's not really what you would be making. Open up there. So here's one of the frames you could use. This kind of looks almost like glasses or something. Let's see if I can pull something out that actually looks like something. So here is what appears to sort of maybe be could be like a part of a fire engine or just an engine block. Here we have a race car. So that's a little more understandable. This looks a lot like a fake nose. Okay, here's like the bottom of a boat. And they do have one setup where you can make, you blow mold the top and the bottom of a boat. We got a couple more in here. I think this is for one of the buttons that you could make. Hey, you could almost use that to do as a shield for the superpowers, or not superpowers, Secret Wars figures. Is that about? That's a little big. It's a little big, but it's close. I think. What else do we have here? Oh, this it has a little metal point on it that you can use for pricking things, doing things. You get the basic idea. There's a few more pieces in here, but these are the molds that you're going to use when you're doing your vacuum forming. We will do one of those. I think we're going to try to do the race car, or at least a piece of the race car. We'll see if we get lucky and this thing works. Oh yeah, there's, I think, some more elements of a fire engine. So some of these are designed so that you do them in multiple parts and you then glue them together. This, I'm not, oh, this might be, yeah, I think this was one of the funny face things you could do. The nose is a little crooked. There we go. So it has a few of the, so we have, it's hard to make out, but you have eyes and you have a nose. Eyes without a face. Got no human race. Okay, so anyways, we got a few other pieces stuck in there that I'd have to pull out, but that gives you an idea of what comes with this set. And there might be some missing. Oh, here's the top. There's the top of the boat. There might be some pieces missing in here. It is entirely possible. We also get, of course, oh yeah, you get these letters, so you can use those to make like a little sign that you could vacuum form. And of course, we also get some instructions. Pull all these out. Okay. Mattel Vac-U-Form mold kit instructions for cars and trucks. This kind of folds out, but you can see here's, a car, here's a truck, etc. The different pieces that you can use to assemble these things, so you can have somewhat more complicated ones. There's the little pokey thing being used to make a cut. Of course, you could have the wheels on these things as well. This shows you, there were some expansion kits, animals, disguises, car and truck parts, medals and badges, military vehicles. All right. What does that say? January 11. It looks like somebody was playing with a stamp, would be my guess. Okay, so obviously use kind of like rubber cement. So that gives you a little bit there. This is mold kit instructions for commercial trucks. So I'm guessing these are from expansions that the owner of this had back in the day. Yeah, there's that fire truck. We were looking at some of the parts for that. So those are a little more complex. These are, man, these have never been cut out. Locket back. Oh, so this is for making lockets. This is sort of it's a spinner that's marked with, Mercury, Saturn, etc. With scriber, lift all loops, straighten up. And that scriber, again, is that piece that I was showing you with the little metal pointy part. And here's something, obviously, for some kind of a golf game. Oh, yeah, golf game. Cut large bubble to exact size. Oh, yeah, that's right. So you could, those games where it's the plastic bubble with the little, like, BB inside that you kind of do this and you're trying to get it to land in the holes. That's what those are for. That's what those are for. All right. Here's the main instruction book. Mattel Vac-U-Form molds plastic, makes most anything. And boy, do these kids look happy. I like the old Mattel logo. Very nice. How to operate your Vac-U-Form. All right. And it's actually pretty simple and straightforward. In fact, let's bring the Vac-U-Form back on camera for this. We're not going to plug it in just yet, because once you plug it in, the heating element begins to heat. So that's a top view. There's the side view. Hold that down. You can see underneath, nothing real fancy. You have the heating element and you have the vacuum element on the other side. And the vacuum element is worked with this pump. So pull that down. You do that rapidly to create the vacuum. So the basic way that this works is you have this piece here, and there is a piece of plastic in there right now. Okay. And this does, no, from this side, sorry. So this opens up. So you put your plastic inside, you close that and latch it. And when you plug this in, the heating element over here is going to heat that plastic up. Okay. Meanwhile, on this side, you have taken whatever it is you're going to be molding. In this case, we have our little race car. I suppose I could put it at an angle too. I don't know if it matters. It does have a little ridge, which I believe you're supposed to sort of, I think that's supposed to hold it more steady when you do it. But at any rate, you're going to heat up your plastic over here, and then you're going to bring it down over here, push it down over the car, and then you're going to be hitting this pump to try to suck the air out so it will actually mold itself to this rather than just becoming sort of a lump. So there are instructions for each of the different kinds of molds. Obviously, this is what I was just describing to you, but if you'd like to see the graphic work inside, so there's the pressing down firmly, pump with short, quick strokes. All right, come on, hold the jokes, hold the jokes. It does say, let's see, heat the metallized plastic a maximum 2 minutes, heat all other plastic a maximum of 3 minutes. Okay, so we're going to do a 3-minute heat because we just got a normal piece of blue plastic in there. Here you get some stuff on correct mold and overhang. Too much overhang locks article in the plastic. Now, what they're saying here is you can find other things that you can Vac-U-Form, right? It doesn't just have to be the molds that they give you. So, you know, if I wanted to get real crazy and try to Vac-U-Form Dr. Doom, I suppose I could try, although he really wouldn't fit there very well. But you can do other items, but it's kind of giving you some tips on, you know, some items are not going to work as well as others. Here's that plastic bubble that you can use for making that game. Deep sea cruiser. So you're going to get a few specific instructions for some of the specific toys. The save it box, the jewelry pin, etc. So very cool toy. Very, very cool toy. And it was from an era of just kids wanting to explore and actually make things. This is the era where, you know, wood shop was still a big deal in a lot of schools, that kind of thing. All right, so what we need to do now, or what I need to do now, is set this up so we can give this a shot and see if we can actually make it work. So there will be a brief cut here as I prepare the work area for the big experiment. Will the 1962 Vac-U-Form work, or won't it? Stay tuned. Okay, so I put it on a towel just to protect the surface of my desk, just in case. Don't know if it was going to be an issue or not, but better safe than sorry. And I have this plugged in now. So at this moment, the heating element is heating up. I can feel that it's getting a little bit hotter. We'll give it just another couple seconds here. Has that smell of old old heating element heating up, that's for sure. So we'll give it just a couple more seconds here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to flip this guy over. We're going to give it about 3 minutes, and which I might cut some of that out so you don't have to sit for 3 minutes and just stare at this thing. And then we'll see if we can make this dude. Starting to think that's maybe pretty good heat-wise. But obviously, like I said, I only have so many of these plastic pieces, and I don't really want to waste one if I can avoid it. So I want to make sure, yeah, I think we're good. Okay, so let's flip this part over. So now we're heating up our plastic. Like I said, it's going to take us about 3 minutes to do so. We're going to put that car right there and hope that that will do the trick. Okay, so I will definitely skip through some of this stuff. So there will be a break here all of a sudden where we're just about ready. That's how they do it on the cooking shows, right? Kind of makes me wonder how many kids got into various substances because of all the plastic fumes they inhaled while they were doing this stuff. I need another hit. Got to get into the mask making business. Can't stay away from the plastic. And we are almost there. We got a few more seconds left. I got a thumb on the vacuum pump. I got my hand over here ready to go. Oh boy, it's exciting. It's exciting. Will I screw this up? Let's find out. Well, there we sort of have it. As you can see, we sort of got a car here, a car shape. And you could see what was happening while I was doing the vacuum pump, that it was sucking the air out of there, but it wasn't a tight enough of a vacuum to really do it properly. I will note that it did not stick to the car. It's a little warm, actually. Let's put this over here. I have unplugged this, so we're letting the heating element now die down. But even if it didn't create a perfect vacuum-formed car for us, like I'd hoped, you do at least see how this item actually worked. And I will say, yeah, the metal gets a little bit warm. So I'm glad I put a towel down. And I think this is something you'd probably want to do, with your kids back in the day, although a lot of parents probably didn't. I don't know, a kid might have sort of burned themselves and then figured out not to do that anymore. That was not always looked at as the end of the world, right? If an injury wasn't permanent, if it was healable, then it was just a good lesson. And that's kind of how folks rolled back in the day. But yeah, this is not like the cornballer from Arrested Development. No third degree burns from touching it, but it does get warm. But it is cool. Obviously this thing would actually work pretty well. It might be possible to repair the vacuum pump chamber thing. It's probably just a matter of the rubber seal being kind of old. And it's possible such a thing could be fixed. I don't know that I'm going to do that, but I'm really happy that I got this. I got this as an auction and at a very, very, very good price. And like I said, I actually got it a couple years ago, and I kept scheduling it for a video, but then other toys would come up, and I'm like, well, I should do that. That toy's just come out. That would be better to concentrate on right now. I'll put this off. Well, I have finally finished putting this off, finally given it a test, and by golly, it got real close. It got real close to working. So I'm pretty happy with it. And I'll be honest, if nothing else, I am really in love with that box top. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. It's just really great graphic design at that time. The camera's now lower, so I can't bring the whole thing into focus. But I would be very happy to just display this box, if nothing else. And so I'm happy I got this toy. It was fun. And by golly, it almost worked. Well, if you had one of these in your youth, I'd love to hear about what you did with it in the comments. If you made any cool toys, had any fun with this, love to hear it. If you have any questions about this device, let me know. From what I understand, it is difficult to find one these days that has both a working heating element and the working vacuum pump. And I've heard the pump is the more difficult thing to find functioning. And again, it's probably because of the rubber gasket. They get old. Again, this is from 1962. So this sucker is it's pretty darn old. and rubber gaskets do not survive forever. But at any rate, happy that I had a chance to play with this. Let me know in the comments what you think. Any questions? If you enjoyed this little look at some 60s creative toy technology, please give it a like. Maybe think of subscribing. Maybe share it with a friend. That would be really great. But until next time, God bless everybody. Please be kind to one another. Have a little fun out there. Maybe Vac-U-Form something if you got nothing better to do. And I will see you hopefully again soon in Dad's Den of Pop Culture. Bye-bye.